Hey friends, and welcome to Boxwood Guitars. Today I am not making a guitar, I'm going to make a cajon drum out of a pear crate. I was up in Anaheim not too long ago and I stopped by this place that specializes in vintage crates, and I picked this thing up and it is a pear crate. You might be able to see on there, it's Sure Good pears. These are mountain grown pears, 4/5 of 1 US bushel. Anyway, they said it's probably from either the late 40s or the 50s, this cool old crate. And so what I'm gonna do is turn it into a cajon. And if you've never seen a cajon, their history actually begins with fruit crates. And I believe in South America, if they didn't have drums, they were sitting on the docks playing music, they would sit on a fruit crate and hit the sides of it to make different drumming sounds. Now, obviously, this one is a little weak and needs some reinforcement. So I'm going to, first thing, probably take off this flimsy little back and then make it sturdy enough that when you sit on it, it's not going to crumble. Before I do that, though, I want to show you, probably won't be able to read all that, but this particular fruit crate came with instructions on how to display your pears so that it would sell the best, and it talks about them, you know, being at the right temperature. They should yield to gentle pressure at the stem end and then be ready for your retailer. My favorite part is down here. For further information, address the Pear Bureau at 502 the Woodlark Building in Portland, Oregon. Anyway, so first things first, I'm gonna take off this back. I'm going to do my best to preserve as much of the wood as possible because we don't know. We might be able to use it for other things. Okay. Well, as you can see, that's not what I wanted to happen. I didn't want to break this, but sometimes that's the way it goes. Get some pieces of barnwood. Now I make guitars out of this barnwood, and so I have some sitting around. It's gonna match, not exactly in color, but it will match the sort of rough sawn, weathered look of the crate. So what I'm gonna do, I've got these 3 pieces here. I'm going to cut them to size. They need to be, ultimately they're just over 19 1/4 inch long. I'll cut them oversized, glue them together, and then we'll have a nice sturdy back. Eventually, the other thing that we're going to do for this back is we're going to cut a sound port in the back of it. So as you play the drum, the sound has a way to exit and fill the room with happiness. A few sandbags will do the trick. Okay, I've got those bracing pieces cut. You can see that it's a nice snug fit, not glued, not nailed, but it's in there nice and tight. It's going to give this box a lot of stability and sort of the gluing surface area that we need there. So next step is to glue these things together, and yeah, the next step is to glue these things together. Okay, well, we've got it all clamped up. It's all glued, ready to go. Nothing to do now but wait for the glue to dry. So what do you want to talk about? We got like an hour. What do you think? All right, I'm gonna turn the camera off. I'll meet you back when it's dry. All right, the frame is all dried up, glued on both sides. This thing is rock solid now. When we put the face on it, put the back on it, it's gonna be super smooth. Before we put the face of this drum on, we've got to drill some holes. What I'm going to do is I'm going to string, believe it or not, I'm going to string guitar strings back and forth across here. They're going to rest on this top plate, and that gives it the snare drum sound that we're looking for. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to take a guitar string and string it through here, lace it up like a pair of shoes, so we get a cool snare sound out of this instrument. Okay, a couple of things before we attach the faceplate to this instrument. We are not going to glue this together. Most of the woodworking with instruments, you glue things together. It's a good solid bond. But for this, we're going to think of this effectively as our drum head, and you want to be able to adjust how tight it is held to the box. So we're going to use screws for that. And okay, we've got the front plate attached there, and you can see those guitar wires that you wondered what the heck I was thinking. Well, they're in there and they're rattling loose. They're moving away from the face. And what I want to do is I want to have them sort of snug up against there so you get more of that rattling sound. So I have a very high-tech woodworking device called black tape. And what we're going to do, we're going to take a piece of tape, put it right about in the middle of those buggers, so it sort of forces them to be up against the wood. Now, they're not rattling around like they would, but they give you a little bit of that rattle so it sounds like a snare drum. All right, friends, there you have it. You have a vintage peach crate cajon. Now, I think, as I mentioned earlier, the history of cajons are said to have come from fruit crates being played on the docks in South America. So we're going roots cajon here with our vintage fruit crate design. There it is, friends. That is a vintage fruit crate cajon. I think I'll make a couple little adjustments. I think I'll get those snare wires rattling around a little bit more. But other than that, it's ready to play.